Great. So as I was saying, UX, it focuses on the whole experience that the user is getting from either the website, the mobile app, or the software. It focuses on how each of the pages it comes together to create a beautiful experience for the user. Let me take a real world example. Say you want to go and renew your driver's license in person, and you have to go to the driver's license office, join a very long queue, get attended to, sign some documents, and finally get your driver's license renewed. That is a full experience that you go through trying to get your driver's license renewed. Bring it to the digital world. If it was a mobile app that you can literally hop on to renew your driver's license like the real world setting, you start from the first screen. You log on to the app, you sign in, give your credentials and everything. Just like when you go to the real office, you first of all have to, maybe if there's a what do you call it, a reception, you register your name, pick up a form, fill your details and all that, move to the next stage like that. So you finally gotten your driver's license renewed. That is the whole experience of it. So it involves us understanding how the users will interact with how they'll behave with our product. What do they actually need? In this case, you just need your driver's license to be renewed. And so we focus on how we can make this whole experience of renewing our driver's license easy, from the us visiting the driver's license office to us getting our driver's license renewed. So UX incorporates both the usability of the application. When I say usability, how usable is a product? Like, do people actually find value in it? Is it easy to use? Can anybody just pick up your application and then use it? And it also focuses on the emotional aspect of it. When we talk about emotional aspect of it, it focuses on when users interact with your product, do they feel at ease, are they happy, or is only frustration. I'm sure most of us have like had such experiences with some products. Sometimes you are trying to maybe perform a transaction on your bank app, and then the network is fuzzy, giving you a whole lot of frustrating experience. That is what UX is about. So now we bring it together. You can't have UI without UX. They go hand in hand. Okay, it's like what do you call it? Tom and Jerry. UI is what we see on the is what we see on the screen, like everything that you're seeing here. But UX is the bones that pulls everything together. So if you follow our blog, we created this analogy to explain what UI UX is about. UX is our bones. You take the human body. Our bones, our bones are intertwined. They are joined together. They have endpoint that help us move our individual body parts to even perform simple functions. But then what people see on the outside right now, if I'm looking at you, I see your skin color, I see your eyes, I see your body, which is your flesh. But I can't see your kidney, I can't see your heart that pumps blood to flow through your whole veins. I can't see your nerves that connect together for you to feel emotions when I am smiling at you so you can smile back at me. Yeah. So UX is, she take it as the bones that holds everything together, and then the UI is the beauty of it, the flesh. Okay. Please, do we all understand from this point? Hello. Hi. I can't really. Yeah,
Yeah, we are listening.
yeah, great. So, please kindly respond because I can't really hear you guys. It's as if I'm talking on my own.
Okay.
Okay. So now let's talk about the various tools and technologies we use in UI UX. You take every field of work, they have specific tools that they use to function in their area. You go to the finance world, most of them use Excel and other likes. In likewise UI UX, we have tools and some tech technologies we use. So to be able to create impactful UI UX designs that would solve problems for people, we have various categories of product we use. First off, we have wireframing tools. Wireframing, we'll get to that part, but let me just talk about in a few. Let me just talk about it a little bit. Wireframing is just basically as putting our ideas together on how the product should look like, how it should function on the screen. So we have we have different types of wireframing. We have low fidelity wireframe, which is just using pen and paper to sketch down the idea of how the screens is going to look like. If it's a website, how this particular page, let's say home page, is going to look like, how the footer is going to look like, and all that. When we come to mid fidelity wireframe, it's a bit like the low fidelity, but just um that everything is presented in black and white, just for you to have an idea of the product you are designing and show it to your team members if you are working in a team. Then we come to high fidelity wireframe. So high fidelity wireframe is the actual screens that people are going to interact with. So you see color all throughout. We would dive deeper when we get to the wireframing section, but then wireframing tools we use in UI UX, we have the most popular one, which is Figma. Figma is the most easiest design software that I'd recommend for anybody who's starting in UI UX. Once you get the basics, you're good to go, and it's a very powerful tool. We talk about Sketch. So Figma supports Windows mainly, but then Sketch is for those who use Mac. Because Figma is not available for Mac, Sketch is what has been made available for those who use Mac products. Then we have Miro. So Miro is kind of like a design tool that you can make your designs there. You can wireframe and put all your ideas there together to present to your team, or better way, just give you an overview of how the product that you are designing, be it a website, software, or whatever, is going to look like. Then we have the most famous one, which I started with when I was designing, is Photoshop. Photoshop, you can use it to make designs, you can use it to draw out your wireframes. Then we have Adobe Illustrator, also for making your illustrations and all that. Then we have Coral Draw. Then we have Paint, and then Adobe XD. So out of these wireframing tools, the best ones I would recommend to make interactive designs is Figma, Sketch, Miro, and then XD. For Photoshop and uh, Adobe Illustrator, I know that Adobe Illustrator and then Coral Draw and Paint, I know it's mainly used to make still graphics. You can't really interact with, like, click a button or something. But then if someone has tried that aspect of it, I'll be happy to explore that. Then we get to the next set of tools and technologies we use in UI UX. We come to prototyping. So, prototyping is basically connecting all your pages together to create like a realistic version. We'll call it MVP, a realistic version of your digital product. So tools like Figma, tools like FigJam are what we are going to use for this bootcamp. Okay. So don't worry if all the English I'm speaking is a bit complex in your mind. We are going to dive deeper in the practical session, and then you would understand it and come to appreciate it much more better. So these are the few prototyping tools we are going to use. Figma and then FigJam is still from the same product, Figma. Then we come to collaboration tools. So collaboration, most designers who find themselves among teams have to one way or the other collaborate with team members. And per se, if you are lucky to find yourself in a company like mine that I work with, where I work with UI UX designers, I work with developers, product owners, and all that. They also have to hop on your project file, see what is going on, and also have an idea of how the product is going to be built. So Figma supports collaboration. We'll learn that aspect of it when we get into the Figma software. Then FigJam. As I said, FigJam is also a collaboration tool. We'll learn how to collaborate on FigJam with others. Then we have Miro. Miro also supports collaboration. Then we have Discord and then Slack. So Discord and Slack is mainly for communicating with your team members. Per se, you have to maybe let your team members know that, oh, this particular screen is going to take like 2 to 3 days for you to finish, or this particular flow is going to take 2 to 3 days to flow. You just let them know through these channels. So these are a few collaboration tools that you might find yourself using as time goes on, and if you are opportune to work with people. Then we come to usability tools. So usability, as I said earlier, is all about testing your product. How easy is your product um how easy is your product to interact with? We take a banking app like Absa. I'm a user. I hop on Absa. I'm trying to perform a transaction. Say I'm trying to send money to my mother from my Absa account. I log into my Absa mobile app. I'm trying to find my current balance so that I know that this is the amount of money I can send to my mom, and then see the remainder left. Here is the case. I can't even see where my current balance is. And because of that, I'm not even able to perform that transaction to send my money to my mother to take care of her health issues, which is pressing. In this case, the app is not really usable for me. I can just delete the app because I find no value in it. If I can't see my bank balance, I don't see how best I can. Yeah, yes. I don't see how best the app is going to give me value. We take MTN Momo for instance, or Momo for the other network operators. Say you're trying to send money to me to enjoy myself a bit. And once you hop on it, you enter the USSD, you go through a few process, and you're trying to check your current balance before you can send me money. And when once you check, you are not the MTN is not giving you feedback on this amount of money you have, to so that you can know that, oh, if you send about like 1,000 cedis, you have maybe 2,000 cedis remaining in your account. In this case, it's not usable. So for us to be able to test our designs that we make with real users, we use tools like Figma and then Maze. So Figma is the most easiest, and we would try testing our designs in get when you're getting to our final project. Then we have Maze. So Maze is kind of like is a top notch company that helps you test your screens with real people to see how they interact with, so that you can iterate. When I say iterate, like redesign your project to fit the market. Now let's talk about the various potential careers in UX design. The main reason why we are even having this bootcamp is to provide you with UX knowledge. Those who are interested in going into UX, to provide you with UX knowledge, so you can also find a career path in it. That's the main goal of it. It is our greatest joy that at the end of our 3 month session, at least you would be your friends will know you as like you having your feet in a career field, and fortunately enough it's in the UX space, which is the most popular in our current world. So in the UX space, you can be a UI designer. As I said earlier, UI is own mainly for how the screens beautifully look like. So you can only focus on the aesthetics part of it. So you can build a career by being a UI designer. When we talk about UX designers, UX designers, they focus on the functionality of it, like how all the screws are tied, all the knots are tied together to create a full functioning system. And as I said earlier, you can't do UI without doing UX. And even the whole UI UX that we are studying, it's called UX design, but then naming conventions, we can't find just one name to call it. So they say UI stroke UX, but then it is UX design, because in UX you find UI in it and they go hand in hand. So if you are opportune to maybe want to take a path in being a UX designer, which is you design the screens, making it beautiful, and also the functional part of it. We'll get to that side. That is the information architecture of it, the site map of it, how the skeleton of the whole product. That is what UX designers do. So they design the screen, how it's going to look like, and also they build out the skeleton of the product. Then we come to product designer. So product designers is like the mother of all these career fields. They don't really do much of design, but then they focus on letting all these oh my god, this was out. So they focus on letting all these team members contribute their quota to making the product a success. They see through the product from start to is it launching. They ensure that anybody who's supposed to design this particular screen is done. If the UX engineer has coded the thing, blah blah blah, UX writer has maybe given us the right caption that we can the right language and caption we should put on each screen and all that. So product designer is the mother of it all. You can decide to be a product designer, which you are not really doing designing much screens. Then make it come sometimes you have to design a few screens to show your stakeholders, but you don't really do much of the work. Like you are foreseeing the whole product from start to launching. Then we have UX researcher. Andy here is a UX researcher. What he does is his role is just finding the needs of our user markets, finding their pain points. When I say pain point, the problems they are facing, and he's finding the opportunities that we can leverage on to make our products, be it a mobile app or website, be valuable to them. So how does Andy find out all these things about the user? They do that by researching, and most popular research methods that we have using surveys, using doing interviews with people, having like real in-person sessions, just asking them questions to understand what they need, the problems they are facing, and how best we can find opportunities in these problems they are facing to make our mobile app or website be valuable to them. So that's what a UX researcher do. Along the line, as we journey through this bootcamp, most of you would find your strength in this, and then it would help you find your career path in it. Then we come to UX writer. UX writer, as the name goes, you determine the language the data product is going to have. Maybe on this home screen, what language should we use here? What should be the tone of the language you are going to use? Is someone asking a question? Okay. 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 Right. So, as I was saying, a UX writer, their main focus is on the language we see in the digital product, the tone of it, the everything about the text that we see in our digital product websites or softwares or mobile apps. Then we talk about UX engineer. So, who is a UX engineer? UX engineer is someone who designs and actually codes the designs that they have made to be a full functioning system that people can interact with. Mind you, when I was talking about the usability testing, it's just your screens that you've designed for people to test. You've actually not coded the thing, so that way you can make changes to it before you give it to the developers. But the UX engineer is like a developer who actually codes the static designs that we've made to, let's say, this mobile app like Duolingo, where when I press this button it's going to give me a feedback here, and I can continue my learning on Duolingo. So that is what engineers do. They actually code the thing. So likewise the UI developer and the UX engineer, literally the same role. UX researcher is repeated here. Okay, then we come to UX architect. So Rita is a UX architect. What does she do? She focuses mainly on the skeleton of the product. When I say skeleton, you take a building, okay? We see the beautiful structures, which is the pillar, the rooms, the painting, the accessories in the room, and everything. Before all these beautiful things about the house came, the pillar and everything, a foundation was dark. And in the foundation, various pathways were crafted for all these pillars and everything to find their footing in the land, just to help those who are building the product to see where do we place this pillar, where do we create this cement thing there, and all that. That is what Rita does. She determines the skeleton of the product by building site maps, user personas, and all that. We'll dive deeper in that when we get to that session. So along the line, you realize that you really want to focus much on the bones of the product. You can choose to be a UX architect. Then we come to a usability analytics. So usability analytics is someone who focuses mainly on testing the product. It can be the static designs that the designers have made, or an actual MVP that a UX engineer has coded for us to test with a few set of users to see if like this product will really do on the market or not before we do our final launching. Then we have AR UX designer. So AR is like the augmented reality and the virtual reality. There's one of us here who has been in that space now. As you get to meet him with time, they actually design for these AR, virtual reality, and then augmented reality stuffs. So you see, if you pick what do you call it? Those those augmented reality devices, the way they see things is different from how we see things on our phones and websites and all that. So they focus on that. Then ignore these two things. I should have removed it from that. Sorry about that. So these roles that I have mentioned, these career paths I have mentioned as in the UX space, they are categorized under main three main career paths in the UX space. I'll share a link to our blog that we talked more about it for your understanding. But the three main career fields in the UX space, we have generalist, a specialist, and then a T-shaped designer. So who is a generalist? A generalist is someone who does literally everything, and everybody starts out as a journalist. I started out as a journalist. You do everything from wireframing to information architecture to UX writing to UX research. You do testing, which is usability. You do literally every single thing. And so you build more knowledge in a lot of areas in the UX space. That is what a journalist is, and that's where everybody starts out. Along the line, you realize that you have much more curiosity or love for a particular field in UX. Say along the line, you realize that you like focusing on the text that is being showed on specific screen, the tonation and everything. Then you decide, oh, I will want to focus much more on the text that people see in our digital products. The tonation should be right, it should be familiar with them, it should be calming, that. Then you build much more knowledge in it. So though you have a broader knowledge in UI, UX, engineering and all that, you have built much more knowledge in UX writing. So if they are looking for a UX writer, you will literally be the most sought after in your team. That is a T-shaped designer. It goes in the T shape like this. Aha. We come to the last one, which is a specialist. So a specialist is someone who has gone through the journalist stage, has gone through the specialist stage, then finally makes a decision that I want to forgo all these other languages, other fields in the UX space that I've learned, like UI design, research, and all that. And I want to focus only, give my sole attention and my career life to UX writing. So that one, they master UX writing. Please, can the person mute him or herself? Thank you. Yes, so as I was saying, the specialist is someone who forgoes all the knowledge in they've learned like in the other areas of UX and say I'm going to master UX writing. We take the carpenter for example. We have a carpenter in general. We know that that carpenter can fix our chair, can fix our wardrobe, can fix our doors and everything. But then there will be one particular carpenter that will say, no, I'm going to master in furniture, I'm going to master in chair and produce furnitures from creative furnitures in all spheres for all spaces and all that. That is a specialist designer. So along the line, we are all going to start from generalist. Along the line, as you grow in the UX space, you yourself would find your footing, and then you yourself will decide whether, oh, now I want to focus much more on me being a T-shape designer or specialist, because the UX space, as a UX designer, you do a lot, trust me. And if you are working in teams, then you are great. But then if you are the only UX designer in your team and it's a startup, you're going to do all the work. The pressure is on you, starting from researching, information architecture, and all that. And it's going to be hectic. That's why we have these various UX design UX design fields that you can fill in. So where do I find UX designers? I can find them in startups. Startups are just as it's the name is simple to understand, just a particular people starting up maybe a small company, and you are happen to be the UX designer in the team. So with that, you do a lot of the work a UX designer is supposed to do. Sometimes they'll bring you motion design to do, they'll bring you interaction design to do, they'll bring you flyers to do, and all that, and you are the one supposed to do that. Then we have designers in big companies like Google, Microsoft, like Amalitech, and all that. If you find yourself in such companies, you may be focusing on just one aspect of the design. You may find yourself as a UX writer, you may find yourself as a UI designer for a particular team, or you may find yourself as a UX researcher. That's when you can spread your T shape wings and your specialist wings. Then there are some of us where we might end up as freelancers. We might just be working on our own terms, earning our own money on contract basis. That way, you can decide whether you would want to be a generalist on a particular contract you have received to do from A to Z, or you can choose to be maybe a UX writer for the contracts that you have received. So it all boils down on you. So these are potential career paths that you can take after we have gone through our 3 months with camp. Then so that's actually the last one. Okay, so that's actually the last one. So today we learned about what UI UX is, what UI actually is, what UX is. Then we learned about the tools we are going to use throughout these 3 months as a UX designer. We learned about the potential career paths that we can find our feet in the UX space as we journey through these 3 months bootcamp. So I would pause here. Want us to have an interactive session. You can ask a question, you can share something that you learned from all that we just talked about, and we can call it a day.
I have a good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, so from the chat, someone was asking what
Oh,
interaction is. I don't know if you have answered it.
oh, sorry, I was actually not watching. Okay, so
BK was asking what interaction means.
okay, so BK interaction design is basically the how users interact with a particular element on your digital product and then the feedback they get. Take Instagram for instance. You see, Instagram, we have the like button, the comment button, all that. If I tap on the like button right now, you see that it's going to give me that filled love thing. And sometimes it animates, like you see even for Facebook and Instagram live sessions, if you are liking the live session, you see that the love that you are tapping like is giving you a lot of animations and all that. Interaction design is basically the let me say the animated side of our digital product, our basic elements in our products per se. If they click on this button, how is a button going to be like? Is it going to change color? Is any sound going to come? Is any screen going to maybe slide from anywhere or something? So that is what interaction focuses on. BK, please, is your question answered? Hello, please, is your question answered?
BK,
Yes, yes, it is.
All
all
right.
right. We have another question from Wednesday
Oh, hi,
or Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay.
Wednesday, you can unmute yourself and ask, or I should ask for you.
Okay, so good evening.
Good evening,
Good evening,
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
I was asking with the UX writer, does it involve codes?
No, it
Like
doesn't
being a
involve
UX
code.
writer.
No, it
Okay.
doesn't involve
Okay.
code. Okay. So you see, let
Okay,
me
so
just
okay, so I'm listening.
okay, let me just come in with what you wanted to say.
Okay. I wanted to know if it's compared to us writing scripts and other stuffs. Like,
Mm,
see, the name says writer, so I thought maybe it involves code, so like it was compared to us writing script or other things.
no. So the only one in the UX space that actually writes codes is a UI developer and then the UX engineer. They are the ones that write the codes. But then we talk about UX writers. As I was saying, they focus on what information are we going to put on specific pages. You take this slide, okay? It talks about what is UX. So on this particular page, if it was an app that we are interacting with, I see what is UX. So it gives me the understanding of the information I need on this page to perform an action.
Okay. Again, I get it now.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we'll dive deeper in these various
Wednesday,
fields throughout our sessions.
yeah. Can I top up to what
Yes, sure, sure, sure.
Yeah.
Wednesday? Okay, so UX writers, just as Abba said, focus more on like have the. Let's take the MTN. Um, let's say you are developing an app, right? And your users
Okay.
are Ghanaians. You use the word Charlie
Mm,
in your app. You see, when your users are Ghanaians, they will understand what Charlie means, right? But when
okay.
you are designing Ghana, let's say your app is going to be used by people outside Ghana.
Okay.
When you use that Charlie word there, it doesn't make sense to them, right? So as a UX writer, you find like the appropriate wordings, like this word, how does this word sound, and how it will make sense to your user, and then like what to actually write there.
Oh,
I hope
okay.
you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
please.
they are more concerned with the text that you see, like the text, like the wording. Let me put it that way. The wording of the text that you see on your screens.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Are
right.
you
Thank
okay?
you. Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
You're
You're
welcome.
welcome.
Okay. So any more questions? Any more questions before we move on? Or I should start mentioning names. Hajira. Yes. I want to hear your voice. Is Hajira talking? Because I can't really hear anything. Hello, please, can you guys hear me?
Yes, Abba, I can hear you. I don't know of the rest.
I can hear you, Abba.
Okay, that's great. Any more questions before we move on?
Okay. I don't know if Andy, you have your eyes in the chat. Design Hank is asking that can someone specialize in two fields? And if so, does that fall under T shape or the person is still a generalist?
Okay, so you can decide to specialize in two fields in UX, but then I'm just looking at the pressure you would experience if you are working alone. In this case, if you are working within a team, you can specialize as maybe a UX researcher and then a UX writer. That way, you can spread your wings amongst these fields. But then, if you are working alone, you can still specialize in two or more fields in the UX space. But then, the pressure boils down on how you would contribute to all these fields that you've chosen without lagging. And in this case, you can say you are a journalist because you have much more knowledge in the various fields in the UX space. But then, if you are specializing in one, the T goes in one, just a broad knowledge amongst all, and then just one line narrowing down to a specific thing. So in this case, I wouldn't say you are a T-shaped designer, but you will be a journalist because it's two or more fields. But in a T-shaped, it's narrowing down to one specific thing. Later, Andy, you can add up. Design Park, does it answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, Design Punk. Okay, okay.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, it does answer my question. Thanks.
You're welcome. So that's our interaction designer here. We'll get to meet him very soon. Okay, so if there won't be any more questions, I'm just going to let us in on our assignments for the week and how we can submit it. So the last session that we had, our introductory session, I recall I said we would submit our assignments via a Google form. We'll submit we'll submit our assignments via Google Form. So when we send you the mail, we would attach the question, your assignments, the questions you find in your assignments to answer, and then we'll attach the link for your submission. The deadline for submission is Wednesday, 11:59 p.m. So you have ample time to work with. It's just going to be a simple task that you can um that can prick your brain to explore much more in the UX space. We encourage you all to do your assignments. Honestly, if you put in more efforts, at the end of these 3 months, you would realize that you've grown. So please, when you send it, kindly do the assignments and submit it as early as you can so you can also be a part of the UX Rising Star that will be featuring on our page from week to week to week. Also, When we get to the wireframing part, as I said earlier, we are going to start with low fidelity wireframe, which is sketching with your pen and your paper. And it's best for you to have all your wireframes in one place. So, say you are presenting them in your portfolio, you won't have scattered sheets all around that you have to go and look for a particular thing, a particular project that you work on, the low fidelity wireframes and all that. So, we've put together a sketchbook. It's mainly for designers where you can sketch down your ideas randomly to help you keep track of your designs, and also you can present them on your portfolio, on your case studies, and it's going to go a long way to benefit you. So we would share the link to it. It's on sale, so if you would want to patronize it, you can DM and then patronize it, or when we share the link to it, you can just place your order and then we'll find ways and means to deliver it to you. So it's a book that um, we put together to help designers draw out their ideas on paper. There's no such book as that existing when we researched, and so we decided to solve this problem with our UX knowledge, and you're going to use it during our session. We'll give you assignment on it, so if you don't have, I bet you might be shaking a bit, but it's optional. Then I think, Andy, have I left, or Rita, have I left all that you need to say?
Okay, so I don't think you've left anything valuable out.
Mm,
Yes, but I'm just hammering on the point that our learners here should make sure they get their assignments done,
mm-hmm,
because it's a proof of we knowing whether what we taught was valuable, whether we delivered to their expectation, and from their submission, we'll be able to also figure out where they might need extra support from. So I think doing the assignments and submitting on time is
mm-hmm.
very necessary.
Yeah,
It's for me.
great. Okay, so Andy, any last words? Where's Joel?
Can you repeat what Rita said? I didn't say it well.
Okay, Rita, would you want to repeat that? Oh, I should.
I um
Hi, Andy. Can you hear me now?
yeah, I can hear you now, Rita.
All right. So I was just saying, I think she was spot on the valuable things that we need to communicate across. However, I'm just reiterating to our learners here that, in fact, we are inclusive, that we should take our assignments very serious, because it will be a way of determining whether we delivered up to the expectation, and it would also help us figure out where we might need help. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I said. Hope you got me this time.
Yes, please, I get you.
Great. Okay, so um, just to um, let it out here, during our various topics that we'll be studying, you'll be having specific teachers to teach that. So you'll be meeting new faces along the line. All of us here are part of the UX team. So don't be um, a bit bothered if you're seeing new faces here. We've introduced them here. So it's you'll be meeting new faces, teaching you different topics. So just to clear the air. Yeah, I think that will be all for our session. I'm hoping we all had an interactive session today. Hope it was very interactive as possible.
Yeah, hi, Abba. Before we go,
Okay.
hello.
Okay, are you talking?
Yes, yes, yes. So, before we go,
Mm.
you can feel free to drop in the chat anything you would want us to do better at. Yeah, yeah. Your feedbacks are most welcome.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, thank you for reminding me. And also, please kindly go and post on your social media handle. Tag UX Journals. Tag what you learned today. You are not you are not what do you call pushing UX journals there out there, but you are pushing yourself out there for potential job opportunity. Just as I said earlier, in the UX space, the one whose voice is louder is the one who is most seen. You can be the best UX designer having all your screens in Figma, but if you don't show it out there, nobody knows you. People who talk are those recognized. So please, as part of this, go and post on social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. That's where we are. Tag UX journals and then let people know that you are learning something valuable. And so, if there's any job that comes out, you can be the first to cross their mind on. So, that would be all from us. I'm hoping we can meet again, God willing, Friday in our next session. Then we study more. Have a wonderful evening, guys, creative designers.
Have a wonderful evening, Abba.
Thank you. Bye. You can also text us, or text DM us. We can talk about anything you want us to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
One
Bye.
thing, it seems um, we are all quiet in the group, so we don't like to talk and
Oh, this day.
associate. Please, if you have any